We're going to identify the conic section represented by this equation and then graph it. And when we have both x and y squared, we want to rearrange the equation to try to leave the x and y terms on this side and get a 1 over here on the right. So let's divide by these coefficients in front of the x and y. So divide by 81 on both sides, and the 81 disappears from here. You get an 81 on the bottom from this term, and 324 divided by 81 leaves you with 4. And so there's one more number up top to divide by, and if we divide by 4, now we get a 4 under this term. This term, the 4 just cancels out, and now we have our 1 on the right side, and that's what we want. And you want to be really familiar with the summary on page 644 that breaks down the conic sections. If we had just one term that was squared, either just the x's or just the y, that's when it's parabola. But for all the rest, if you look at this identification column, it'll tell you how to identify whether it's a circle or an ellipse or a hyperbola. And we're in the situation where we have both x and y squared, and they have different positive coefficients. So we're definitely going to be dealing with an ellipse. Our x term and our y term are squared, and there's a plus in between. They're both positive. Looking back at our equation quick, we see that again, the x term has a 1/4 coefficient, and the y term has 1/81 as its coefficient, and they're both positive, so we have an ellipse. And then a is always the number that's bigger than b, so whichever value is bigger is a, and in our situation, the 81 is bigger, so this is our a, and 4 is our b. And so right here you get an idea how to graph it. The center is HK, which is what's being subtracted here. So our center is going to be -5 and a +8. And I'll go down here and scroll to the graph. So -5, 8 is the center. The vertical major axis length, how long it is up and down here, that's 2a. Now, our a was, this is 81 here, which is a squared, so a is 9. 9 squared is 81. So 18 is going to be the length of our axis here, so up 9 from the center and down 9 from the center. And then the width is 2b, and our b, we had a 4 here, so it's 2 squared. So 2 left from the center and 2 right from the center is how you would get these 4 dots, and you connect them to get your ellipse. And that's what we have here. It's kind of zoomed out a bit, so you can't really see perfectly on this graph, but you identify your center and then make those 4 dots, and you connect them, and your ellipse will look like that.